Okay, in this turn now, we're talking about loop. And then the first on our list for this video will literally be focusing on the if-else statement, if statement. So Python conditions and if-else statement. So Python actually supports the usual logical conditions from mathematics. The equals to, the not equals to, less than, greater than, less than. So so already we have it. So equals to say, so if you're talking about equals to, yeah, this is the order at which this works. Then not equals to Python, this is it. Then less than, yeah, the less than, this is less than sign, it's less than b. Then we have less than, you have less than or equals to b. Then we have greater than, and then we have greater than or equals to b. So yeah, so this is each of them. So this is equals, just to memorize there, and then we can know the signs that represent each of the mathematical notations. So this is what? Less than. This is less than or equal to. This is greater than. This is greater than or equal to. Yes, so that's stuff for that. Okay, so this condition can be used in several ways, most commonly in the if statements and loop. So an if statement can be written using the if keyword. So I'm going to comment this out so that you can see recognize this for later use. Now, so if I'm going to say the if statement, so let's see a simple example of the if statement. So we say A is equals to what? 33. B is equals to 200. Yeah. So now if B is greater than A, what do? So you print B is greater than A. Okay, so let's use the sign. Let me just say. So I want to ensure I do my proper indication so that everything is looking fine. Okay, so let's see. Let's run this. So you see that A. So you see that B is greater than A, which is true. So it prints out this out. So in your if statement, ensure you use indentation. If not, you will have an error. So in this example, you see that we have two variables. We have the A and the B, and then which are used as part of the if statement to test whether B is greater than A. So, and in this case, we have A to be 33 and B to be 200. So if 200 is greater than 33, then print out B is greater than A. So that will happen. So now, so we want to talk about indentation a little bit. Python relies on indentation as white spacing in the beginning of the line. So you see that we have a white spacing right here. So to define scope in the code. So other programming language often use what? Curly brackets for these purposes. So but in this is white spacing. So then you can also say if blah 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 blah, you put in the curly brackets, you now put in the brace brackets, then you put the curly brackets, and we put the round brackets, then you put it in what? in a curly bracket. So this is how other languages does that. But in Python, see other languages, but in Python it's done this way. You use an indentation, give it a space, and write your stuff. So you mentioned this double colon actually is appearing on your stuff. Okay, so now if I happen to ignore this rule and I put in my stuff without indentation, you see I'll have an error. And then if I try printing out, it will give me an error message. So it's telling me right now that expected an indented block after if statement in line 10. So until it does this way, before it's recognized that there is an if statement, and then it will not output any error to you. So indentation actually is important, and it is not taken lightly in Python. So that's how to actually write out your if statements. So now we're going to talk about the if else statement, and it is used with the elif keyword. So this is what you use to write the if else statements, elf. So it's like saying if the previous condition are not true, then use this condition. Okay, so let's look at this. Yep. So let's look at it in this kind of way. Let's take an example. For instance, in this example, we would say, so I'm going to clear this out. So no, let's use this stuff. So if I say if this is correct, then I'll write else. So remember you say else if what a is equals what b, then you have your stuff right here. They indent it, they print out a and b are equal. Okay, so this has to use an EF statement. So you see in this example, a is equals to b. So the first statement is not true, but the first statement is not true, but the second statement is true. So, but in this case, you see that the first statement is going to be printed out. So for this second one to be printed out, in our case, you have to make sure that both are equal, or the equal of an equal value of 33. So now I've done it this way. So now we see in this case, the first one is going to be wrong, and the second one is going to get printed out. So if I want to run this, you see a and b are equal. Yes. All right. So the error statement is true when both have the same value, which you have seen in this example. So what you use something called the else statement. The else statement catches anything which isn't caught by the previous or preceding conditions. So in this case, let's say our a here is 200 and our b is what? Okay, so now say a, okay, now say b is greater than a, and you know that that's not true. Then you see a and a is equals to b, which is also not true. So now say else statement. So say else. So now print if all conditions fails, let this be printed out. So that's what we are saying on this condition. So if b is greater than a, do this. Else if a is greater than b is equals to b, do this. Else if all this condition fails, do this. So I'm going to print that out, and you see ba is greater than b because of the value it contains. So the variable a actually holds a greater value compared to b. Okay, yep. You can also use an else statement without the else, without the else. So you can use the else statement without the else. So how can we do this? So I can say, I can just maybe remove this all the way, and we still have the else statement. So still to work. So if this else do this, so I'll print this out and said, you see, it prints out the second since A actually has a greater value than B. Then let's talk about a shorthand if. If you have one statement to execute, you can put it on a same line as the if statement. So if you only want to print out, so you can have that in the same line. So I want to comment this out. Let's do a new one. If A is greater than B, so I have my value A to be what's the same 200 and B to be of 33. So now get a space. If A is greater than B, so you can say print A is greater than B. So if I was doing just a line of statements, you can actually do it on one single line and then to print out. So this is what's called a shorthand if statement. So let's say a shorthand if else statement. So we still have what let's say our A here is 2 and our B here is what 330. So now I want to print out the if else statement. So in this case I can say print A if A is greater than B, else print B. So if A is greater than B, else print B, but print A. So I'm going to do that. So you see, in all number condition, is going to print what A on normal instance. Or now if A greater than B, so if A is greater than B, print A, else print B. So you see in this condition that once A is greater than B, let A be printed. Else, if this condition is wrong, print B. So in doing so, we got B done, executed out. Okay, so let's look at the AND keyword. The AND keyword is a logical operation and is used to combine conditional statements. So let's look at an example. This is to combine conditional statements. So I want to test if A. So I want to test if A is greater than B and if C is greater than A. So we have like A now is equals to 200, B is equals to 33, C is equals to 500. Now if A is greater than what B and C is greater than what A, I want to use the AND statement to compile together, do two different conditional statements. So now A, we have A 200, B 300, 33, C 500. So if A is greater than B, which is what? True, and C is greater than A, which is true, then print both conditions are true. So I'm going to now run this out. Both conditions are true, which is correct. So you see, you're all good to go, right? Yep. So now I want to use the OR keyword. The OR keyword is a logical operation which is used to combine two other ones. So if one passes the test, you have the other one. You know how the whole statement works. So if one of them is true, then it should print out the correct answer. So at least one of them is true. So now you have so now I want to say the OR So I'm going to go out for the or keyword. Okay, so I say A is equals to what? 200. B is equals to 333. C is equals to what? 500. So let's go. If A is greater than what? B, or A is greater than C, print at least one of the conditions so prints at least one of the condition is true. So let's see. Is A greater than B? Yes. Is A greater than C? No. So at least one of them was correct. Even as one of them is correct, this will be printed out. So I'll print that out and say, see, at least one of the condition is true. Yeah. So that's for that. For let's say the not keyword. Not keyword. Okay. A is equals to 33. B is equals to 200. So if not A is greater than B, so you are negating what you're having here. So is A greater than B? No. So not. So then in not, we are reversing what we are saying. That means in essence, we are saying B, let B, if B is greater than A, then let this condition be printed out. So now let's indent it, print. So in this case, this will actually print out since you're saying not. So you're saying A is not greater than B. So once I run this, you see, so I'm having a mistake here. So I cut it out already. Let me clear the screen. Then I would, so you see, okay, I have to off this. How to part this too. Don't need it. So I'm going to clear the screen. So I want to just show us the only one we just did now. So once I do that, this is correct. So you see, A is not greater than B. So you see that's how to use the not keyword. So let's see nested if. Nested if. So I want to comment this out also. So nested if, in nested if, okay, so in nested if, you can have if statement inside if statement inside if statement. So in this way, it's called the nested if. So without wasting time, let's see an example on this so we can better understand what we are doing here. So if x is equal to this, so x is what? Greater than 10. So if x is 41, okay, let's say x is equal to 41, right? If x is greater than 10, print, if it's greater than 10, print this, print okay, above what? 10. I'll put this comma. Now, if x is greater than what? 20, print and also above 20. You got it? Okay, so now next is what? Else print but not above 20. So what do you think will come out for me? So we say x is 41. So if x is greater than 10, print above 10. That will come out. So if x is above 20, print and also above 20. You say that above 20? Yes. But then else print but not above 20. So the two conditions will be fulfilled. So if I want to run this, clear my screen. Boom. So above 10 and also above 20. So that is it. So that's how to use an if is an if. So we see that if is statement on is inside this what if statement. So yeah. All right. Let's see the past statement. If statement cannot be empty, but if statement cannot be empty, but if you for some reason have an if statement with no content, put in the past statement to avoid getting an error. So if you don't have any content and if statement, it cannot be empty, but you can use the past statement to actually override having an error on your worst, having an error right in your code. So I'm going to comment all this. So I want to use the past statement. So say A is equals to what? 33. B is equals to 200. So if A is greater than what? If B is greater than A, you don't have any condition, so it does a pass. So let's see what will happen. So nothing, no error, and it's passed. So yeah, so that's all for that on using how to use the if statement. So in the next class, you will go to the next conditional and loop statement.